Hi and welcome to this week's update. It's Sunday evening, it's now Mother's Day in the UK, so I'm not actually in work clothes and I haven't been to the shed today, but I have been in this room for bits of time during the day. I had to make dinner and stuff like that, but apart from that, managed to get a little bit of a couple of projects that I've got coming up done. So it's been quite a busy week again. Every week's busy, it feels like it. Is it the same with you all? When you're doing stuff, I don't know, I'm always doing something, I suppose. So yeah, it's been quite a busy week. I've completed this week's project because I'm actually up to date now. The projects that I'm making this week are to go out over the next 4 weeks. So yeah, I finished this week's project and I'm still editing that. We'll finish that possibly tomorrow night, which will be Monday. I shall get this one edited ready for 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. And I was away off, because I've been off work this week, I went out, me and a friend of mine, we do a day trip every now and again up to get some wood. Consequently why I've got bits of wood sitting here. And we go up the west coast of Scotland, to a little place called Loch Carron, and there's I think it's called Woodworks, but with a Z on the end, sawmill up there, and it's a great place. That's where all the burr that I cast for pen blanks, and that's where that comes from, not the melly burr that I do with the rings, but the oak and the elm burr that I have. That's where that all came from, up there. And I wasn't really going up particularly to buy anything, but this coffee table that I keep going on about, well, maybe I don't go on about it to you too much, but I go on about it to everybody else because I keep going on about this coffee table I'm going to make and never make. And the excuse that I've been running with for a while now is that I didn't have the wood. Well, that excuse is there no more because I do have some wood. Couple of YouTubers I want to shout out this week. Hold on, let me put this down. My coffee. The first one I watched is Bobby Duke this week. I just love Bobby Duke anyway, he just cracks me up. And he was using cottonwood bark, and he carved this most amazing little castle on it, or whatever it is, with all the steps and such detail he put into it. I've tried to get hold of cottonwood bark for carving and I just cannot get it. If anybody's in the UK and knows anywhere I can get hold of that, but I just can't find it anywhere. It's almost like it's not imported into here. And for years now, since I started carving, the one thing that I've wanted to carve on is that there is so much that you can do with it. So that's cottonwood bark, if anybody has anywhere I can get that from, and get it either sent into the UK, or I don't know whether they'll send it because of it being wood, but yeah, if anybody knows where I can get that from. But Bobby Duke's video this week was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. The best, it really was truly the best video I have seen on carving for quite a long time, and there is some amazing carvers out there. So I should put a link to Bobby Duke in the bottom for those that haven't seen it, but I'm pretty much sure most of you have, and if you haven't joined this channel you should do, because if nothing else it gives you 5 minutes of fun, it really is. And the other one is Jimsons Stuff. I've followed Jim for quite a while on his channel. He does a lot of milliput stuff. I've actually spoke about him on here before. Milliput projects and wood turning, but he's just bought a vacuum chamber and a pressure pot, and if you're getting into that you need to watch his videos because they are the most comprehensive videos I've seen. Well, there is some big makers up there, but his was the easiest I found to follow. Loads of information. I've learned so much myself. He put, the first one he put out was he was making a mould, a silicone mould using vacuum, and he spoke about that then. about how to use the vacuum chamber and all that, loads of information. The next one he did was on pressure, shows his pressure tank. It comes from the same company as I buy mine from, but I've just got the smaller tank than he's got, and I got so much information out of that one as well that I didn't know. It's amazing. There's always something you don't know. And the third one, which went out last night, was he was stabilising some wood blocks, and he was doing it for knife handles. I think he's actually doing it for. So that was the third one in that series, and he talks about stabilising pressure and also his thoughts and ideas on it. He's well researched this area. But yeah, they are 3 videos. I will tag the first one of it, and then the 3 come within a few days of each other, really. I think it is a few days of each other. So all 3 of those. But if you're looking for information on pressure and vacuum, he has the most information that, well, I've seen anybody in the UK do. And so that's Jimsons Stuff. Really, really good. It's a really good channel anyway, well worth subscribing to if you've not subscribed already. So going back to the wood, I actually bought, this is elm. It's all elm that I've got. I bought this slab. It's probably about 1 1/4 inches thick, and I was actually thinking of maybe cutting it in half, turning the 2 insides, and then maybe doing some sort of resin inlay in the middle of that. That's possibly one idea. And then I got hold of these, well, this big slab. It was actually in 1 piece, but I asked him to cut it down to 2 because we couldn't get it in the car that we were in, between the 2 of us getting wood in. And it must be, it's a good 2 1/2, maybe 3 inches thick. Probably near 3 inches thick. But it's elm as well, and it's got beautiful burr on it, on these bits. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with this. If I was going to do some sort of small table or something, I would need to cut it. But this is for just this. All this is just me messing about, testing out a bit of stuff myself, because as I say, furniture type things is something that I've wanted to do for quite a while, but it's knowing where to start, and you know, because then you got the wood, and then I've got to think about legs, and I like the hairpin legs, but I don't really want hairpin legs on it. Probably will on something, but anyway. So that's the start of it. So I've got these couple of bits, and so I'm going to be doing something with these pretty soon, I think. I've definitely got the idea for that, on what I'm going to do with it. So that was what I was up to this week. I did a little time lapse, and I was going to tag it onto here, just taking you up the west coast of Scotland, but I'm not sure. I probably won't tag it on the end. If you're interested in me putting it up, I'll put it up, but it's just in the car, and there's not a lot to see than mountains and snow-topped hills. There's not a lot on the video. I was going to record some other bits, and I did record some stuff in there, but I felt a little bit awkward walking around with a camera. That's the truth of it. I felt a little bit uncomfortable, although they were very willing for me to have the camera there. So it just shows you, don't it? You know, it's fine doing all of that stuff within our own area of the brown people that we know, but as soon as you go out with, you actually feel a little bit uncomfortable. I'm walking around with this thing with a big hairy haggis on the top of it, and anyway, so that was the way. So I did film it. If you want to see it, let me know. I maybe just pop it up. It's only about 3 minutes long, the video that I took. So yeah, so that's what I've been up to this week. The projects that I've got, obviously the Makers Rock promo went up. Part of, I know that's not for everybody, that, and I'm never keen to do stuff like that, but I had to do it as part of the of being in it, of entering it, I had to do a promo video by the 13th of March. Just, it's like an advertisement thing for it, I suppose. So I've started that project, and I hope to just about have it finished this evening, I'm thinking. And I've also got a couple of other projects using clay, polymorph clay, just something a little bit different, just testing out stuff. And I've been doing some casting as well. So they'll all be coming up in the next few weeks. I haven't been out, I've hardly had any time. In fact, I've had no time on the lathe this week other than polishing some rings. I don't know what I did with them. That was something this week, I suppose. I went out last Friday. I don't go out very often, but I went out for a change. Let me just bring these round. Yeah, I went out, and I was just going out for a meal, nothing spectacular, and then I thought, oh, I'll put one of my rings on. It was quite a big shock, really, because I'm not a ring person. I have one ring, and that ring never comes off my hand. It stays on all the time, even though I shouldn't have it on the machine. It was my mum's ring, and so I never take it off. But I thought, oh, I'll go and put a ring on for myself. And when I put them on, I didn't like the way they looked. They were too high for me. A lot of people like them high. I do some smaller, lower ones, but the ones that I've got left that I haven't sold, they were all big and high. And I thought, that's it. That's no good. You know, and then I went to put the pendant on, and I felt the pendant was too big as well. So I thought, right, I need to start making some rings that I would wear, and then, I don't know, maybe there's a lot of other people like me that doesn't like all of that. So I went out, and I actually, this for here, these are all quite tapered because I like them quite thin on my finger. So they're quite tapered, and they're also quite small, so that they don't stand too far off. I don't mind wearing something that height, but I don't particularly like wearing something. It's only a little bit higher. I did that one, but I kept it because it would have spoilt the whole shape of it if I'd have done anything else. So yeah, so that was it. I went away and I made these rings, and I made them really in a style that I would wear, rather than maybe the other styles I've done. So it was quite good to realise that actually I wouldn't wear my own rings. So I actually have virtually everything, even that's on Etsy at the minute, will be taken down one by one. They're all going to be, because these ones were all big, and I actually went away back. They're not on the website or anything. I went away back and shorted them all. I completely changed the style that I'd originally styled them to. So that's how I ended up with that. A bit of useless information, but I just thought I'd let you know that that's what I was thinking. And it was only really because I needed to wear one myself. I didn't wear one in the end. I wore a band because I felt more comfortable with that. But then that was too big because I hadn't made any to my size, because my fingers are quite small. So anyway, I'm not going to yabble on anymore, because I could go on and on and on about stuff that I think about, all this useless information. So I'm basically not going to yabber on anymore. I'm going to leave you to it. Have a good week, everybody. Stay safe in your workshops. Let me know below what you're up to this week. I'm still off until Thursday. I'm back at work. It's Sunday today, but my car's going through an MOT, so I probably won't get much time in the workshop to do. But yeah, let me know what you're all up to, and project out on Wednesday, and thanks very much for watching.